What's up, guys? It's Rick Ginn, the Flip with Rick, and today we're going to talk about something very controversial. Is wholesaling illegal? And I would love to hear your comments below. And this really resonates. Just depends on what state you're in right now. So if you guys are in the state of Illinois, all hell's broken loose, basically calling wholesaling illegal, which is, to be honest with you, is a very broad statement. So let's start out with this. So I've been doing this 15 years, and I will tell you, the definition of wholesaling has absolutely changed when I started this business. So I looked up, I wrote it down so I'm not misquoted here. The true definition of a wholesaler, which is a general term. So it's the buying of goods in bulk. The key word there is buying and reselling for a higher profit. That's the true definition. So by definition, on that means you're actually buying the product. So here's the problem. We don't buy the product anymore in real estate wholesaling. Is they're referring to is you put the property under contract and you try to immediately resell it with the intent of making a profit and selling it to the end user. The problem is the wholesaler in today's terms has been dubbed the middleman. And the problem is the middleman with no skin in the game. So why is it suddenly such a big fuss? Well, the problem is you got a lot of wholesalers putting people under contract. They have no idea what they're doing. They have no idea how to write the contract. They were told by a guru to put it under contract and try to sell it for a higher price. Well, here's the problem is they're putting it under contract for 90 to 95% of the value and trying to sell it for like 105, 110. Guys, that's called being a realtor. So in theory, you've been dubbed the middleman, and they are going to go after you heavily. So right now, the state of Illinois, Illinois is an absolute no-no. Ohio, very, very hard on it. I believe in the Carolinas and California. I know New York's got. So every state's adapting some sort of reason for it. And here's why. Because they're getting complaints from this word called wholesalers of people putting on contract and they're not fulfilling their obligation. So here's the two issues that have dubbed wholesaling supposedly illegal. And if you're doing them, you need to address it and figure maybe to work with someone that can help you out with it. So either it's myself or somebody else. So the number one thing when you're wholesaling a contract, you're going to be looked at and judged on is your intent. Well, what does that mean, Rick? Do you intend to close on that property? So if you ever had to stand in front of a judge, he'll ask you, did you intend on closing on Susie Mae's property? Well, how do I know that? Well, if you don't have any money, you don't have a strategic cash partner, a JV partner, or even a hard money or a transactional partner, your intent is fraudulent and you will be nailed to the cross. So if your intent, you have no ability to close that property, or you've never proven your intent to close on a property, you're at grave risk at wholesaling, in my opinion. You need to get with someone and learn how to buy the properties right at deep discounts. And worst case scenario, if you had to close, have the ability to do that. You got to think of the homeowner. You've got to help them out. So when a wholesaler leaves a homeowner at the altar and they don't close, they pick up the phone and they call and they say, hey, this wholesaler, he never followed through. And then the realtors all start bitching and complaining about the same thing, and we're dubbed really bad people. So look at your intent and clear it. And if you don't have the intent fixed, fix it. Find a partner, find a cash partner, get a relationship with a hard money lender, whatever you need to do, and get that solved now, because you're going to get nailed to the cross if you keep doing it this way. Last but not least, assignments. Most of these states know wholesalers focus 99% on assignments, and that's what they're going after. So if you're assigning a property and that's all you do, and you have no ability to close on it, you really need to re-engineer how you do wholesaling, because you're going to get nailed here sooner or later. Are there ways around this? Yes. Most of them are asking you to become a licensed real estate agent. Not really my personal recommendation. And you need to really decide if you want to do your business before you go through that, because then you got a whole other ball of wax of things that you got to deal with it. So if you're assigning the contracts, the problem is if you show the property, if you put pictures on the internet, if you take multiple buyers to the property, you're now selling real estate without a license, and that's what they're all going to nail on you. So the average fine right now is $25,000, and in the state of Florida where I'm at, it's $1,000 per day you market a property that you do not personally own. Yes, you can argue equitable interest. That's a whole nother topic. I'm not even going to dive into it, but to establish equitable interest, it's very, very complicated, and 99% of you guys aren't doing it. So do me a favor. If you're wholesaling, make sure you clarify your intent and come up with a strategy for assignments other than the way you're doing it right now. If you have any comments, put them in the box below. I'd love to talk about it. That's my take on, is wholesaling illegal? It depends on what you're doing personally. I'll talk to you soon. Rick with Flip with Rick.